There's something quite pathological about the way that Prince Harry now studies the behavior of his estranged brother, Prince William, and tries to emulate it in public. Now, if it wasn't the fact that Harry was the one to single-handedly destroy the relationship with Wills based on his revelations in his autobiography Spare, I'd almost feel sorry for him. William lives in his head every moment of every day. And while the future king has moved on and accepted this as a relationship that's over, Harry needs to be in exile, just like the Duke of Windsor was in exile for the rest of his life. Harry can't accept that. And we see loads of examples of this, right? Like we saw it when Harry was on his trip to the UK and he just had to mention his brother during a discussion with a young lad about football. It was inappropriate. It was unnecessary. But we are also seeing it in the appearances that Harry makes, specifically his attempt with James Corden to emulate William's style when it comes to football. But what was really shocking and astonishing was this discovery from Nancy Sidley of the Sidley twins, who revealed, imagine being so jealous of your brother's appearance on one of the biggest sports podcasts in the world, of course, speaking about New Heights with the Kelsey brothers, that you rush onto the Temu version, she's referring there to the Fox World Cup podcast with James Corden, and try to recreate the same conversation. Wow, what a loser. Dena, royal YouTube sensation. It was a total ripoff of that moment. And look, I know some people in the entertainment industry will be saying, look, Harry had a script, the lines were provided to him by James Corden comedy writers. You know, we had that line about Quidditch when they were discussing Harry Potter. But at the end of the day, it's up to Harry, if that is the case, to say no. But I believe, Dena, Harry, as the years go on and the estrangement grows, and Harry doesn't want the estrangement now, that's the problem. He's a guy who regrets what he did. His obsession with William is actually becoming a very worrying, creepy thing. The latest bombshells from Harry and Meghan that the Montecito Mafia and the rest of the media are desperate to hide. Subscribe right now for the real story with zero spin and zero censorship.
Yeah, I think William is in a position now where he really has to be very, very careful. I do. I feel like his brother, Harry, is going to try to sabotage everything that William is trying to do. The success of William and Catherine is, I think, overwhelming for Harry because Harry and Meghan are the complete opposite. And I think he is obsessed with his brother because he wants what his brother has. And so trying to emulate and do all these things similar to your brother, you know, is the best way he can try to be in close alignment with his brother by doing things that his brother is doing. And I think it becomes very dangerous for William because I just can't see this relationship getting better. It can only get worse. And that could mean William could fall into, I don't know, some kind of situation where his brother is making his life complete misery, especially if he's in close proximity because he wants to come back more often now. I just feel like Harry needs to be kept away as far as possible. And I don't think that's going to happen because of how weak the king is. It just shows Harry is just such a dud and a loser, truly. As you know, Nancy was saying, like, really, he is just a dweeb. Why would you mimic your brother and be so obvious about it? I mean, this man has no life skills at all. He's just out there on a woman of prayer, just like trying to do what he can and just not thinking strategically. I mean, he's supposed to be of a higher standing, and he comes from such nobility, but yet he is acting in a way that it's just bad. How does this happen? Who are the people in his circle that are advising him? Like, there has to be better people around you to make your circumstances better, but it seems like it's just getting worse and worse. You know, I don't understand this man.
Prince Harry's behavior towards his brother has officially crossed the line from a bitter family feud into something deeply disturbing creepy, and pathological. Royal commentators aren't holding back, calling Harry an absolute dud and a loser who simply cannot accept his exile in California. But it gets even worse for Montecito. While Harry pathetically tries to sabotage William, brutal newly leaked Netflix figures reveal that Meghan Markle's latest solo shows have completely bombed worldwide, drawing fewer viewers than local podcasts. Stick around, because we're diving into Meghan's secret plot to abandon brand Sussex for reality TV, and why veterans are now demanding Harry be kicked out of the Invictus Games for good. Let me show you the exact moment that blew the lid off Prince Harry's obsession. When Prince William appeared on the hit podcast New Heights with Travis and Jason Kelce, it was a massive global viral success. William was charming, unscripted, and effortless. Fast forward just a short time later, and where does Prince Harry pop up? On a Fox World Cup podcast with James Corden, a low-tier imitation where Harry blatantly tried to recreate William's exact banter about football versus soccer. Royal watchers quickly caught on to the exact setup. Even if Hollywood comedy writers handed Harry those lines, he had the power to say no. But commentators point out that William lives in Harry's head every single second of the day. While the future King of England has moved on and accepted that the relationship is over, Harry is trapped in a loop of regret. He destroyed his family bond with his memoir Spare, and now he's trying to act like his brother just to stay relevant.
Well, the desperation is growing, I guess, and there are very few places that he can go. It's really interesting to see how these Harry media appearances without Meghan are just not working for him, even in the attention economy, Dena. Like, we had this James Corden appearance, there was Joe Marler, there was the Time 100 event, there was the Alison Hammond interview on this morning at the Invictus Games 1 year to go countdown, and all of it was just so weakly portrayed. There was just zero excitement around it. And of course, that's not to say that Meghan is a success in her own right. She's not. But and I've got the figures from Netflix to prove it in just one moment, but I do wonder, Dena, if there is a bit of a threat coming from her towards Harry, which is like, you can try and go out on your own. This is what it's going to be like without me. Because remember, she has been so controlling for so many years, and everyone who watches this show regularly knows that I don't say that in any type of like, oh, I feel sorry for the guy way. It's just a fact. So controlling for so long that when Harry has to make these solo appearances now, he struggles because he's quite empty inside. He's quite sad. He's so used to being told what to do at all times and even being physically controlled. So do you think there's an element of her almost wanting him to go out there and fail? Or is this a bit like after the release of Spare, when the heat was really on Harry, and it was just like, I'm just going to hide over here because I'm thinking about brand Meghan Markle now, not brand Sussex. And after the courtroom loss to the Daily Mail, it was a bit like, oh no, do you know what? H?
Yeah.
I agree with you about the security now. You go to that Invictus 1 year countdown on your own and the Time 100 on your own. Which do you think it is, Dena?
I think Meghan is just wanting Harry to continue doing what he's doing because she knows it's just not coming off right. I think she looks at him as a failure because he is, and she just wants to create her own way. She wants to create something completely separate from Harry. In the beginning, Meghan being with Harry was great for her. We didn't know who she was. Harry did a lot of good for Meghan in the beginning. But if you look at what happened with her other marriage, it's very similar. She had her ex-husband who propped her up. He gave her relevance. He gave her identity. But as soon as she got on that show Suits, she was her own woman. And I think it's the exact same thing now. Meghan has already gotten what she needs from Harry, and now she needs to create her own independence from Harry because now she can take it from here. It's like, okay, thanks for the handoff of the relay. I got it from here. I don't need you anymore. So she's building that independence while still connected in marriage. She's building her alignment of her individual brand away from him, because he's too much of a risk. He's not looking successful. He's not looking like the hero. He can't really help her anymore, right? And this is what we're seeing with Meghan. She's plotting and planning independent behind Harry's back, I think, even because I've heard, maybe you have too, Dan, that Meghan's looking to do reality. There's some things with Kris Jenner we've been hearing. We know Harry doesn't want to do reality shows and things like that, but it's a great idea for Meghan for her financial wealth
Yeah, what
building.
choice does she have? Don't miss a single update on the stories that actually matter. I'm breaking down the news every day, so make sure you subscribe to never miss a beat. Click that subscribe button right now.
She will do it. Absolutely. So she ain't thinking about Harry. I'm sorry at this point. No.
Yeah, I mean, look, she was always open to reality, actually, and I think she is going to have to do it, P. Dina, because the new Netflix figures revealed this week, and it was actually the Royal News Network that crunched the numbers. Oh my God. I mean, we knew it was bad, but you still actually have to see just how bad it is. So Brittany posted, here is the breakdown of how With Love Meghan and some of Harry and Meghan's other projects performed during the first half of 2026. I imagine why Netflix dropped the couple won't be much of a surprise. And let's just luxuriate in these figures, P. Dina. Harry and Meghan. Okay, so that's still the reality show. We know not the reality show, the documentary series from all of those years ago, still number one, but not much. I mean, number 3,188 with 600,000 viewers. With Love Meghan season 2. So this came in the past year. This is the new content that got all of the publicity. Half the number of viewers of the old documentary series. 300,000 viewers at 4,701 in the Netflix chart. With Love Meghan season 1 at number 5,644 in the chart with 200,000 viewers. The With Love Meghan holiday celebration. And gosh, you remember again, Pete Dina, so much hype around that, so much publicity around that. 200,000 viewers total at number 5,954. And Brittany writes, what didn't make the top 8,200 plus properties on Netflix, meaning they failed to have even 100,000 viewers. Polo, Live to Lead, Heart of Invictus. So, P. Dina, it's, look, again, I know all of our viewers understand the Netflix deal was a total disaster. Ted Sarandos had no option but to walk away. The deal was disastrous, just like the sales for As Ever are disastrous. But to actually see the official Netflix numbers, P. Dina, it's still quite something. You know, we have episodes of Outspoken that get way more than 200,000 views. Her holiday celebration got that. I mean, it's the most highly promoted holiday special around the world. It had headlines throughout all of the mainstream media. It's just, I mean, look, the point that I'm making, P. Dina, this is not just a flop. This is the biggest disaster in entertainment history. It was a $100 million deal. Not that they got all of that money, because, of course, a lot of that payout was based on actual performance or actual delivery. But it was a huge deal. It was a huge deal. Number 5,954. I mean, look, I can go on, but you know what I'm saying.
Netflix,
These numbers are stark.
They gambled and they lost big time.
Oh yeah.
So that right there is validation for Meghan, that how can she try to move on in this way and to make money? I think she knows her money making potential is in a different genre. It's not going to be doing what she's been doing with these scripted shows. Well, highly scripted planned shows. I think more around the reality. And that's where she can make a lot of money, because who wouldn't want to see a peek inside her life with her children? Do you know how much money she would make doing that? That would be huge. And that's ultimately what Netflix wanted from the very beginning. And I think now Meghan sees this is what she's going to have to do to make her money. She wants to be independent and financially set. That is the only way it will happen. The commodity that she has is her knowledge as a royal, the insides of her life inside the palace walls. Even if it's not spilling the dirt on the royals, it's about what it was just like living when you first came into royalty. Like all of that information and things that she experienced is highly valuable to a lot of people that don't know what it's like. And she has her hand on something that would yield her a lot of money, but it is within reality. And that's what she's going to, I think that's what she's trying to do now, Dan.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's
this
the
will
only
never win again.
it's the only option she has, because the fashion line, which she was so hopeful for, of course, the plans for that in some serious trouble after Balenciaga totally turned her back. So it's going to be really difficult to get the funding to bankroll that now as well, although I don't think she's ruled it out. But yes, reality would work. There is always a big question, though, P. Dina, when it comes to Meghan Markle and these big money projects. Is she going to do the same thing with the autobiography, though, and think, well, actually, the maximum payday and where I'm finally free is a post-separation reality show? Because remember, and my reporting on this was backed up by Vanity Fair magazine, you know, for those of you who are skeptical. But the pitch for her book, and the reason that I believe she is still really constantly sort of, you know, dangling the carrot of an autobiography one day, but then actually in terms of the negotiation with publishers saying, well, hang on a moment, you know, let's just wait. Let's just wait for the post-divorce autobiography. I do wonder if it could be the same thing with the reality show, because won't it be awkward? It's a bit like when, you know, Kris Jenner and Bruce Jenner's marriage was completely crumbling. It's very difficult to hide that in a reality show, because even though they're highly edited and the executive producers are in all the time, and they would be executive producers, it's still quite hard to hide. Do you know what I mean? Because the cameras are there a lot.
Yeah, that would be the reality that we would see, that they would try to hide. But hey, more money for her. I think she will definitely use any opportunity to make the money that she wants to make, even if it's kind of spilling the beans on the marriage. Harry won't have anything to do with it, though. I think Meghan will have to just find a way to do it independent of him with the children, and she will have a big, big payday. But then you have the whole Harry complication there. Like, he's not going to want to have anything to do with that. But she'll do it. I mean, we never thought they'd do a documentary, you know, slagging off the royal family. Like, who would have thought, right? Look, the girl is getting ready to do some things. That's what I feel is getting ready to happen. This is why we're not really seeing her as much. She's not with Harry, is no longer trying to brand and be with Harry. This is her trying to live her independent life, and I think even more independent, because Harry wants to go back. You see him wanting to go back part-time, then it's going to be full-time. Okay, so Meghan is trying to build her independence because she sees what's coming. If we can see a little bit of it, oh, she sees it loud and clear now. So that's how I see it, Dan.
Do you know what's so funny, P. Dina? It's almost becoming impossible to defend her. So, do you remember the dude Tan France? Now, I believe, P. Dina, tell me if I'm wrong, was he Queer Eye? Is that what he was? Queer Eye for the straight guy? And he was one of the people who were called in to be a fake TV friend of Meghan Markle. And I'd never met. It was a mortifying fake relationship. I guess he had his whole Netflix thing going on with Queer Eye, so there was like some type of like corporate synergy in terms of why he did it. But Tan France went on the Vanessa Feltz show, the now cancelled Vanessa Feltz show here in the United Kingdom, for one of her final episodes. And Lauren the Insider did a brilliant breakdown of what happened.
While Harry is busy embarrassing himself trying to mimic William, Meghan Markle is quietly executing a cold, calculated exit strategy from Brand Sussex. Commentators note a clear pattern in Meghan's life. People are useful to her until they aren't. Her ex-husband propped her up until she landed Suits, and Harry gave her global royal status. But now that Harry's public image is tanking with one failed solo appearance after another, Meghan is building her independence. Insiders reveal Meghan has been cozying up to Kris Jenner and exploring the world of unscripted reality television.
Why?
Because Harry refuses to do reality TV, but Meghan knows it's her only remaining cash cow. She wants to monetize her royal title and build a standalone brand before the Sussex ship sinks completely. She is leaving Harry out in the cold to flounder on his own. If you want proof of why Meghan is panicking, just look at the official Netflix figures crunched by the Royal News Network for the first half of 2026. These numbers aren't just bad, they represent the biggest entertainment failure in modern history. A multi-million-dollar promotional machine, and her premiere holiday special couldn't even outperform an independent YouTube channel. To make matters worse, a massive viral petition is gaining global momentum demanding Prince Harry be stripped of his position with the Invictus Games. Military veterans are speaking out, furious that Harry and Meghan have turned a sacred event for wounded heroes into the Sussex PR show to line their own pockets. Even Hollywood elite friends, who were brought in to prop up Meghan's show, are fleeing. Look at fashion personality Tan France on UK television when asked if he's still friends with Meghan. He awkwardly stammered about having a textual relationship before making excuses for why her cooking show bombed. The brutal reality is out. Americans and Brits alike aren't rejecting Meghan because of cynicism. They're rejecting her because her public persona comes across as completely fake and unlikable. From pathetically copying Prince William's podcast appearances to getting dumped by Netflix and facing a veteran revolt, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are officially running out of options. What do you think? Is Harry obsessed with Prince William, or is he just desperate to stay relevant? And should he be removed from the Invictus Games? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more uncensored royal news.